What is up, everybody? I am sitting in my dining room slash kitchen. It's really just one big room, because our offices are closed because of the COVID. So let me tell you what this means for us for services. We're going to continue to go as normal, and here's what I mean by that. We're going to keep having the distance in chairs. We're going to keep wearing masks. And there is one new update that we are not going to follow, and I just want to be very upfront about this. The only update to everything that Jay Inslee said yesterday on Sunday that affects churches is that there is to be no singing when we are in when you're in church service. And so the adult service is still going to have worship. We are still going to provide that, as is kids ministry. So VRL kids, we will still do worship. We will sing, we will dance, all that kind of stuff with masks on. That's the whole, that is our whole position on it is we are going to do that. We believe that worshiping God is an important thing. It's an important habit for our kids to practice. And so, again, our whole thing is not, I am not making a decision or following and being a support of a decision because I think that this is unconstitutional or anything like that. But I do believe that this is just one of those things that we need to be teaching kids of hey, worship is important, and so we're going to do that. But we're going to wear masks and we're going to be in our chairs 6 feet apart and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to just be we can do whatever we want. But we also are going to go, but we're going to worship God. And so just know that is VRL's position. I am following along with it, and I agree with it. And so if you disagree with me on that or with the church on that, that's okay. Call me. 217-357-4937. That's my cell phone. Since I'm not in the office, if you try and call me at the office, I won't get it. So I'm not saying all this to be this is the way it is and you're going to like it. No, I want to talk to you about it if you have a problem with it and call me. But I just wanted to let you guys know that up front. We're still going to have services. Everything else is the same. The percentages, we can have up to 75 kids in our room before we're breaking the rules. We can have up to 200 and I think 250, maybe it's just 200 adults in the auditorium, plus in our overflow room. Everything else stays the same. VRL is going to be open. We're fine. And so that's what you need to know. One minor detail on closures. Next Thursday is the 26th. That's Thanksgiving. We're closed. Not because of COVID, because of Thanksgiving. So if you attend service on Thursday night, cancel those plans. And if you volunteer on Thursday night, cancel those plans because we're not going to be there. So let me jump into this week. We are in Ezekiel for our breaking news. And when I'm lost, God guides me. And I'm very excited. I was actually just reading through the lesson again. And the whole thing is Ezekiel is delivering this message from God. And he used the metaphor of shepherds and sheep. And he basically is going, hey, the shepherds of Israel, the leaders of Israel, are in trouble because they have not been good shepherds, and they have let the beasts come in, and they're devouring the sheep, and the sheep have been led astray, and they're allowed to wander wherever they want. And he said, and we got to get this back together, and I'm going to lead these sheep. And so he's basically just saying, hey guys, you messed up. To the leaders, he goes, you messed up. The people are a mess. But if you let animals roam, they're going to roam. You have to keep them in line. And so he says, hey, I'm going to guide you. If no one else will, then I'm going to guide you. And so that's what the whole lesson is Jesus, or God. I keep saying Jesus, and it's Old Testament, and it's not Jesus, it's God, because Jesus isn't until hundreds of years later. But through Ezekiel 34, specifically 11 through about 24, is where he just jumps in and goes, hey, I'll be the one to judge sheep against sheep. When you're going to compare yourself to somebody else, don't do that. I'll be the one to do that. But you just know, you follow me. I'll lead you. I'll guide you. I'll show you where to go. You go there, and don't worry about what anyone else is doing. And you do what I do. You go to where I tell you to go, and you eat from the pastures I tell you to eat from, and you avoid the things I tell you to avoid. You're going to be fine. Follow me. That's what our story and lesson is this week. So I'm really excited because it's pretty straightforward. And this past week's was a little bit less straightforward with Zephaniah, where it was the hey, I'll follow me or I'll destroy your land, and the kids are like, I don't have any land. It's like, it's a great point, you don't. Follow God anyway. So anyway, let's just run through our small groups really quick. One of your options for games, follow the leader. And I say one of your options. The other option would be you just make it Simon Says. It's the same general concept. You give a command, kids follow it. And again, the small groups are in no particular order. So the first thing is follow the leader. You have discussion questions there. What can you tell me about Ezekiel? What metaphor did God use to describe people and their leaders? Sheep and shepherds. How can we make sure we're listening to God? Things like that. There's also a response time where we're going to have a space on the wall to do the response for when you're feeling lost, and maybe that's probably a good opening one. Also, another memory verse activity. Picture the verse. You're gonna have something that kids can draw and write with to basically imagine if the memory verse was being displayed on the news, what would that picture look like? And so it's probably going to have to do with fighting. I'm just going to give you that heads up because the memory verse would be on your guard, stand firm in the faith. I've overly communicated to punch the air when we say be strong. So in case your kids all draw street fights when people with switchblades, I apologize. It's probably my fault. And then finally, prayer. And what we're going to try and do again this week is blitz through the opening part, kind of like we did this week. I honestly loved the experiment. And we even broke our small groups into some side rooms at the bigger services, and it went really, really well. Like we had 40 kids at 11 o'clock, but I had 10 in this room and 10 in this room and 10 in this room and 10 in the middle room. And so no room had more than 10 kids. I think it was maybe 8 and 12 and 10 and 10 or whatever. But like the point being, my group was able to make noise and it didn't affect the other group, and the other group could make noise and my kids didn't even notice. So that was super great. In fact, one of the leaders at that service afterwards, she goes, my group, that was the best small group I've ever had. I said, yeah, because you didn't have 40 kids in one room doing small groups. So we're going to experiment with that some more. We're going to skip the game at the beginning, but then like I said, we programmed a game and an activity into the small group so that way you can do that with your group at the end when you have time for that. So that's the week. That's what's going on. Everything's provided for you. Like I said, we're going to meet. It's going to be great. It's going to be normal. Wear a mask. And until then, I will see you guys on Thursday. I'll see you guys on Sunday. And then after this, only one more week of breaking news. And then we get into Christmas. So have a great day. Have a great week. See you guys later. Peace out.